Hi everyone, welcome back to Book Digest, where we uncover those life-changing lessons from the greatest books ever written. And today we are diving deep into the book of Genesis, the ultimate story of beginnings, purpose, and faith. Now I know what you might be thinking. Genesis, that's ancient history. But let me tell you, this book, it holds powerful truths that can help us thrive, even in 2025. You see, the stories in Genesis, they aren't just stories. They are a mirror, reflecting back to us the timeless struggles and triumphs of the human spirit. The search for meaning, the power of forgiveness, the importance of connection. These are things we are all still grappling with today. So whether you're searching for direction in your life, grappling with uncertainty, or just looking for a little inspiration, stick around. We're about to unlock how this ancient text, yes, Genesis, can shape your life today. You don't want to miss this. Genesis tells you the creation story and why we care for our world. Genesis, it begins with these powerful words. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Just sit with that for a moment. This majestic opening, it reveals God's role as creator, the ultimate artist, and it establishes our role, yours and mine, as stewards of His creation. We are called to care for this beautiful, fragile planet. Think about it. In 2025, when climate change and environmental issues, they feel so pressing, Genesis, it challenges us to ask, how are we caring for what God entrusted to us? Are we honoring the sacredness of nature? Are we being mindful of the resources we consume? You know, I truly believe that God's creation, it's a gift, and like any precious gift, we have a responsibility to cherish it, to protect it, not just for ourselves, but for generations to come. Simple acts, my friends. Simple acts like conserving water, reducing waste, or planting a tree. These are ways we can honor God's command to tend to the garden. Genesis 1 verse 31 says, "Then God saw everything that He had made, and indeed it was very good. Let's strive to keep it good. Let's make it even better." I want you to imagine for a moment a world where we all took responsibility for our impact on the environment. A world where clean rivers flowed freely, where the air was fresh and pure, where forests stood tall and majestic. That's the world Genesis calls us to create. Genesis leads you to find your purpose and identity. Now Genesis doesn't stop with creation. It goes deeper, revealing a profound truth about who we are. We are created in the image of God. You, my friend, are not here by accident. You are designed with intention, with value, with purpose. But here's the catch, and we all know this. Adam and Eve's story in the Garden of Eden, it reminds us how easily we can drift away from that purpose. We get lost in comparison, in self-doubt, in the noise of the world. And let me tell you, in 2025, with all its distractions, it's easier than ever to lose sight of why we're here. The constant barrage of information, the pressure to achieve, to accumulate, to be somebody, it can all be so overwhelming. But Genesis whispers a different story. A story of inherent worthiness, of unique gifts waiting to be shared. It reminds us that our purpose isn't something we find out there in the world, but something that's already woven into the fabric of who we are. Genesis 1 verse 28 says, "Be fruitful and multiply, fill the earth and subdue it." Now this isn't just about having children, it's about creating, innovating, and bringing something meaningful into the world. What are you passionate about? What makes your heart sing? What gifts do you have that could make a difference in the world? Don't let fear or doubt hold you back. Step into your purpose. So I ask you, what's one step you can take toward fulfilling your purpose this year? One step that aligns with your values, that lights you up inside? Remember, even the smallest step in the right direction can lead to extraordinary journeys. Genesis reminds us to walk by faith during uncertainty. Let's talk about Abraham, one of the most inspiring figures in Genesis. This man, he left everything familiar behind, his home, his comfort, his security, trusting God to lead him to a new land. Talk about a leap of faith. But see, that's what faith is all about. It's about trusting in something bigger than ourselves, even when we don't have all the answers. It's about taking that first step into the unknown, knowing that we are held and guided, even when the path ahead is unclear. And let me tell you, in 2025, many of us face uncertainties. Whether it's in our careers, our relationships, our health, or the state of the world itself, we might not know what the future holds. and that can be scary. But Abraham's story, it whispers to us, it's okay to not have all the answers. Trust the process, trust the journey. Trust that even in the midst of uncertainty, you are being guided towards your highest good. Genesis 15 verse 6 says, "And he believed in the Lord, and he accounted it to him for righteousness." It wasn't Abraham's actions that made him righteous, but his unwavering faith. So I ask you, what leap of faith can you take this year? Maybe it's starting that project you've been putting off, or having that difficult conversation you've been avoiding, or maybe it's simply choosing to believe in yourself and your dreams, even when doubt creeps in. Remember, faith opens the door to possibilities. It allows us to step outside of our comfort zones and into the fullness of who we are meant to be. Don't let fear hold you back. Take that leap. Genesis reminds us of the power of forgiveness. Finally, let's talk about Joseph. Now, if anyone had a right to hold a grudge, it was Joseph. Betrayed by his own brothers, sold into slavery, imprisoned for years, this man went through the fire. But here's the thing about Joseph. He chose forgiveness. He didn't let bitterness poison his spirit. He understood that holding on to anger, it only hurts us in the end. In Genesis 50 verse 20, Joseph says to his brothers, "You meant evil against me, but God meant it for good." Can you imagine having that kind of perspective? To see beyond the pain, the betrayal, and recognize a higher purpose at work? Forgiveness, my friends, it's not about condoning the actions of others. It's about freeing ourselves from the chains of resentment. It's about choosing to see the good, even in the midst of suffering. And let me tell you, in 2025, forgiveness can be your superpower. In a world that feels increasingly divided, forgiveness has the power to heal, to restore, and to create a more compassionate and loving world. I know, forgiveness is not easy. It takes courage, it takes strength, and sometimes it takes time. But the freedom it brings, the peace it offers, is worth the journey. So I ask you, who do you need to reconcile with this year? Maybe it's a family member, a friend, or even yourself. Holding on to grudges, it only keeps us stuck in the past. Forgiveness allows us to move forward, lighter, freer, and more open to love and connection. Genesis reminds us that there is a new beginning every day. So what does Genesis teach us for 2025? It reminds us to care for creation, to step into our purpose, to walk by faith, and to embrace the power of forgiveness. You see, Genesis isn't just about the past, it's a guide for living a meaningful life today. Its timeless lessons challenge us to grow, to trust, and to make a difference in the world. Thank you so much for joining me today on this journey through Genesis. Remember, every day is a chance for a new beginning. What lesson from Genesis will you carry with you today? Let me know in the comments below. Until next time, take care of yourselves and each other. See you on the video.